10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Macclesfield Town and Chelsea.
The enduring attraction of cup football is easily explained. How else could one witness second top in the land versus second bottom? There may be 90 places between Chelsea and Macclesfield Town, but while the reigning Premiership champions are struggling for form, the League Two side can't stop winning, and they are extremely keen to point out that they are not just here to make up the numbers. In the last 2 years, Scunthorpe, Huddersfield and Colchester have all come here and run the Blues close in this competition. Can Paul Ince, himself a two-time winner of the FA Cup, somehow lead his improving charges to what would surely be one of the all-time upsets? Tommy Langley's alongside me. Tommy, on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you?
0, but I've got to say this is the romance of the Cup, as you rightly said. It's fantastic that Macclesfield have brought so many fans along to support their team today. I think it's an easy task for the Chelsea side out there because we're playing quite an experienced team, Ben, today, and I think that warrants the respect of Macclesfield as well.
Well, as Tommy said, the Chelsea 11 is stronger than many expected. Both the left-backs are in action, with Ashley Cole playing in behind Wayne Bridge, who is joined in midfield by John Obi Mikel, making just his 5th start in all competitions. Of the 5 youngsters on the bench, only Nuno Moraes has first-team experience. For Chelsea's guests, it's a very regular-looking lineup and one that's led them to an unbeaten run of 10 games, including 8 wins. The obvious threat is likely to come from the 2 powerful frontmen, John Murphy and Matty McNeil, whose 6'5" frame should pose a problem or two for Chelsea's recently leaky defence. And I guess, Tommy, is that the worry, if anything, how we do at the back?
Yeah, I mean, obviously set piece is going to be a problem. David Morley, who I used to look after, he's 6'4" as well, so there's 3 big guys there to pick up from set pieces. We're not the biggest today, with obviously Didier Drogba missing, who comes back for set pieces, so going to have to make sure we didn't give away too many free kicks or corners, but I don't see that being a problem over the length of the game, Ben. I see us getting well on top and winning it quite comfortably.
Well, in the media, the Blues' recent form has been billed as fairly crisis-ridden. Ashley Cole in today, the only FA Cup medal holder in Chelsea's squad. He won it with Arsenal. They didn't have any till he came along, and one of those medals was won against a Southampton side that contained Wayne Bridge. They're both in from the start today. That's a rare one for the 2 English left-backs. Big day for Wayne Bridge. Hasn't had too many opportunities on Macclesfield's own left side. You'll find Martin Bullock, one of their very regular players, has hardly missed a game for Macclesfield. And up front, John Murphy, who has 100+ goals already in the locker for Blackpool. He's on loan. And Lee Mason is our referee, who's in his first season as a top-flight official. He's had a handful of Premiership games, but today it's the Cup. And I'm just wondering, Tommy, after a few tribulations, let's not build it into too much of a crisis. After all, it is 3 draws. But after a dodgy Christmas, shall we say, maybe this week of Cup action, Wycombe to come, of course, might be a welcome distraction.
Yeah, it's a nice respite, isn't it? Semi-final on Wednesday, as you're right to say, at Wycombe. And today, whilst we've got an experienced team out there, there's 1 or 2 regulars missing, so hopefully refresh for next week against Wigan in particular. But as I said, they've got a few big boys, and Colin Heath on the right-hand side, also ex-Manchester United, a bit of experience throughout the team.
And we're underway on a day where there's always 1 or 2 shocks somewhere in the land. None of them would be bigger, I don't think, than one here. And an early touch for Bridge, and Cole bombing on ahead of him. We'd imagine that they'll just swap over in those duties during the course of the game. Here's Bridge again. And Kalou. And Heath infield to Navarro. Early ball up to Murphy. He's brought that down well. Just wonder whether most of the threat will be aerial, given the size of Macclesfield's two strikers.
Well, I think their usual area of threat from set pieces, but it looks like they want to play the ball on the ground. There was great little movement there. Martin Bullock played the ball back to the left back, who played in the striker, who controlled it well. So I think Paul Ince will encourage them to play football today.
Well, everybody knows how much of a competitor Paul Ince is. And he took over a side that were in really dire straits and looking like they were dropping out of the league, even at a very early stage. 14 adrift they were, Macclesfield, at the start of December. They're still second bottom, but they're going better at the moment. Here's Regan. Lovely touch, which brings huge roars from the Macclesfield Town fans in the shed end. "4,000 of them in. The owners have shelled out for 74 coach loads of them, Tommy.
Fantastic. I've got to say, this is what the FA Cup's about, bringing them down to London, seeing the champions playing against them. Lovely stadium, full up, and they'll enjoy the day, I'm sure.
Here's Wright Phillips. Now Lampard, captain, of course, in the continued absence of John Terry. He's not too far away. We saw him having a little run out on the pitch before the game, as was Petr Cech, notably, with some headgear on. And Chelsea have won themselves a chance for the set piece.
Going back to what you just said, Ben, it's great to see them boys coming in and encourage the crowd, to see Jay Terry warming up and Petr Cech playing. This is a chance here, mate, to drop off.
Frank Lampard almost in. Quick bit of defending to do for Dave Morley. Danger not over yet. Wright Phillips just trying to slip Shevchenko in. Chelsea still have the ball with Jeremy. Bridge. Outside him is Cole. And going inside Ashley Cole. And Wright Phillips is quick, but he's not that quick.
We'll have to say he actually pointed to Ashley Cole to play the ball in that sort of area, and he stopped his run. So Ashley played it in there and he wasn't there. But as just before that, I was saying about Petr Cech training out here, even with a skull cap on. It's great to see him anywhere near a football pitch, and I'm sure that encouraged the fans that are here today that saw him warming up.
There's a very young and inexperienced Chelsea bench. Had been a few noises that one or two of them might start. I should think we'll see a couple of them as the game progresses. Perhaps not if it doesn't go to plan for Chelsea, but who knows. There's Regan. Forward for McNeil, who's won the ball. First aerial challenge with Ricardo Carvalho, and it was McNeil that got the better of the Portuguese defender. And Hadfield on the burst, but he can't keep that one in.
I think that instance there, Ben, just showed that when they do flick the ball on, and they're going to flick sort of 80% of the balls on, we have to be alert in behind them. On that occasion, Paulo Ferreira sussed out, he was going to get it, was nice and bright, and intercepted the through ball.
That's one thing Paul Ince has over Jose Mourinho. FA Cup medals, got a couple of them, 1990 and most notably against Chelsea, of course, in that 1994 final that no one of a blue persuasion likes to bring up too often. Jeremy forward, it's a useful looking ball as well. Wright Phillips nearly on the end of it, Shevchenko nearly with the second ball. Mikel to Lampard. With Navarro in attendance, and a good challenge from the Macclesfield midfielder Alan Navarro. Now McNeil out wide. Just Murphy in the middle at the moment. McNeil has given the ball away.
Well, if their crowd needed any encouragement, it was right in front of there, that tackle by Navarro on Frank Lampard, and they really enjoyed it.
Carvalho, who might have had a rest today, were Chelsea a little bit stronger in terms of depth. and fit bodies. They've got that many out at the moment that he just had to play. Just for a moment thought Ashley Cole had kept that in. That would have been some touch.
It would have been a touch, but on what you just said there, Ben, I think other supporters would laugh at the fact that we're short man today. I mean, you can't believe the amount of centre-halves we got out, and obviously goalkeepers as well, and other personnel coming back, but not quick enough at this moment in time. But Ricky, unfortunately, should be due a weekend off, but wasn't.
He will miss the Macclesfield game in midweek, incidentally. He got himself a 5th yellow card against Aston Villa. Wickham, rather. Macclesfield are today. And we have a man down. Bosh on the nose, it looks like.
Yeah, and it was Sean Wright-Phillips. He's actually come in and from the side of him there, and Sean was just protecting himself there, and the flailing arms caught him on the end of the nose. I think a bit of a bloody nose, but not too much to worry about.
Well, Macclesfield will want him on the pitch. Kevin McIntyre. He's on a hot streak. Even though he's a left back, he has 6 goals in his last 9 in all competitions, including a couple at the weekend. Frank Lampard playing by the rules, and back to Tommy Lee, who was 21 on Wednesday and isn't even their first choice keeper, but he's in since Johnny Brain broke a leg earlier in the season. Seven minutes gone, neither keeper being forced into action yet. Chelsea look to build from the back again with Jeremy. Shevchenko's going to need to get his skates and to get hold of that. And some very, very tidy defending from Danny Swales. Perhaps not the distribution though. Now Wright-Phillips. Well, I think the referee wanted to play advantage, but couldn't.
Well, that's twice. The last time McIntyre got a whack on the nose for his troubles trying to get in front of Sean Wright-Phillips. On that occasion came from behind. Definitely a free kick, and if he's going to carry on with them 2 challenges, I can see him getting a yellow card pretty quickly.
McIntyre's having to leave the field again here. Blood on the face, not allowed these days. He's going to have that cleaned up, and Macclesfield will defend this free kick with 10 men. Jeremy and Lampard await. It's Lampard, and it's all the way across. John Obi Mikel, I think, was the man who was almost in there. John Murphy had to do the defending.
Well, I have to say, it was a great ball in, and John Mikel Obi was favourite for me at one stage there, but I think Murphy got his big frame in the way, nice and brave, and just worried him out of it.
Wright-Phillips, nice ball for Jeremy, who continued his run. And then it comes from the right back. Decent ball again. Ashley Cole will maybe have another chance to put something dangerous. He's left it for Bridge. And now Lampard. His first shot from distance of the day. I think it's fair to say it won't be his last.
It's great, every block and every challenge at the moment being cheered by the Macclesfield fans. They know they're up against it, but as I said earlier, they really are enjoying the day.
At the moment, they're the only fans you can hear here at Stamford Bridge. Kalu. Cole. Flags up against Shevchenko. It's a big day, Tommy, for the likes of Shevchenko and Kalu and Wright-Phillips. They could all use a goal, and today you would think might be the sort of day where they might have a chance to score one, as we just take another look at this free kick. It was a good piece of defending from Murphy.
Yeah, it was. He was nice and brave. At one stage he was favourite here, Mikel, but he just worried him out. He just got in front of him there as he was going to nod it in the back of the net. But no, you're right, Ben. If anyone needs any confidence, today's the day to get it. But you know, I'm sure there are chances to be created, but in this opening 10 minutes neither keeper's been tested at all, which slightly surprising, I have to say.
Carl Regan, whose own goal had Macclesfield in trouble in round 1 of the Cup. They came back to win. And it comes from Hadfield. And away it goes. Right, Phillips under pressure, but he's found Jeremy. Well, this time last year, Tommy, we had heavy rain for the likes of Huddersfield and Colchester here, and the pitch was a shocker. It's not so bad this year. In fact, it's looking quite good. We've got heavy rain, which should be, as they always say in the cliche, a bit of a leveller.
Yeah, very much so, but the pitch was relayed, wasn't it, just after Christmas, and it looks fantastic, I have to say, out there, and there's no excuses of bubbles out there, that's for sure. It's as flat as a pancake, and this will make it a little bit zippy. We have to play balls to feet. Anything in behind may just drift away.
Yes, you'd think Chelsea's passing might be more suited by the better surface, but it is pretty horrible in terms of rain out there. Had a couple of nasty ones recently. The Fulham game was almost a washout on that day where a couple of Premiership matches were in trouble, and one of them, in fact, the Watford match, did get abandoned.
Well, I went to Aldershot Grays that day, and it was postponed after 9 minutes. It was abandoned, so waste of time. But in many ways, I wish the Fulham game had been abandoned, because we maybe could have got back and got the 3 points, but it wasn't to be.
Mikel, a little bit of space, bit of time to think about what to do with the ball, and he finds Lampard, who with a cute ball in behind for Wright Phillips to chase. Swales was across well though, Danny Swales, who, just to put things in perspective, is Macclesfield Town record ever signing at £40,000. He's marking Andrei Shevchenko. You could get almost 1,000 Danny Swales for one Andrei Shevchenko on those prices. Here's Jeremy, tries the nutmeg, didn't work.
Well, it just shows you people talk about money and it makes no difference. 11 minutes into the game, he's getting the better of the argument. 40,000 or 30 million, it doesn't make no difference. He's winning so far.
Jeremy, it's the second time he's tried that, didn't work then either. Jeremy's throat, finds Ferreira, deflection on the cross, almost helped Chelsea out. Danger not over yet either. First save for Tommy Lee. Andrei Shevchenko just had to sort of hook around and see what he could fire towards the Macclesfield keeper.
Was a bit of pinball there, wasn't it? Decent ball in the box. It got deflected up in the air. They cleared it out to the edge of the box, and this is Andrei Shevchenko having a swing with his left foot. Not enough power to beat the keeper.
Kalou might think about a run at this defence now. Solomon Kalou, he's got the better of Hadfield, and he's still going. Tried to feed something through for Shevchenko. Nearly worked. Mikel under pressure. He's found Jeremy. Decent looking ball into the chest of Shevchenko, and the shot from Kalou! Oh. That was so well worked, and it nearly worked well enough to give Chelsea the lead.
Well, it's a great ball through initially to Andrei Shevchenko. Looks like he's trying to take on his chest and get a shot in himself here, but he laid it back, and Kalou running in strikes it fantastically. Unfortunately, just far that wide of that far post, but great strike and great play from Shevchenko in particular.
Don't think Paul Ince will be too disappointed by what he's seen so far. 13, nearly 14 minutes in, that's the first time his defence has really been tested. Here's Mikel.
Well, what we're worrying, mate, is it's twice in a minute. I mean, Andrei Shevchenko just forced the first save out of Tommy Lee. On that occasion, Kalou missed that far post by inches, but they're putting a little bit more pressure on and more action around his goal mouth.
Rain really falling heavily now. Possession given away. Swales finds Bullock. Forward to McNeil. Jeremy, who's seen plenty of the ball, his opening quarter of an hour. Mikel, who would dearly love to impress. It's a rare start for him. That ball is seen out into touch by Tommy Lee.
Well, he was a little bit fortunate there, the young goalkeeper, because I think he was going to initially come out to catch it. He realised the bounce had taken it outside the box and was in two minds whether to clear it or not, but fortunately for him, it just ran off the pitch.
Well, Jose Mourinho's been relying very heavily on Didier Drogba for goals of late. Questions been asked a lot, Tommy, on the phone-ins and all sorts of places what Chelsea would do without Didier Drogba, and they haven't had to find the answer to that until today, and it'll be the same against Wycombe.
Yes, and God forbid he does get a knock or two, because the way he plays the game, someone's going to upend him sooner or later. But I have to say, you know, someone else has got to step up to mark. You made the point earlier about people in the team that can do that, which is Kalou, Shevchenko and Wright Phillips in particular. This is the opportunity to score a couple of goals.
Bridge out to Kalou. What's he got in his locker now? Solomon Kalou. Cute little ball through for Ashley Cole, and now Lampard and Bridge. Chelsea building something. Just waiting for the gap to come, and Kalou's found it. He's got round Regan. Good ball in as well. Lampard! 1-0. Really worked goal. Great passing all around. Bridge, Cole, all involved. Solomon Kalou gave the defender the slip, and Chelsea are 1 up.
Well, you talked about earlier Didier Drogba missing who'd step up to the mark. Always Frank Lampard's involved in that equation. Here he is again, slipping into the box there. It was a good ball in. Kalou done great down the left-hand side, cut a ball back to the middle of the box. He beats the defender very easily. It's a nice little ball, inviting people to challenge on it. It's actually a poor finish from Sean Wright Phillips, but it falls in the path of Frank Lampard, who strokes it into the corner net. And in the last 5 minutes, I said, we've just been turning the screw, more action around the goal mouth. Deserved goal.
Great acceleration from Kalou, and you're right, Sean Wright Phillips didn't see a lot of it, in fairness to him, but it fell nicely for Lampard, who loves to arrive in the box to feed on scraps like that.
Well, I think the thing about Sean Wright Phillips in his defence was that Danny Swales had a swipe at it just before it went through, and I think he was expecting the defender to get some sort of contact on it. He didn't. He reacted a little bit late, but even saying that, his shot scuffed in the way of Frank Lampard, and he finished it off.
Well, fans of romance won't be too chuffed. It's all about, really, the second goal in these David versus Goliath games, isn't it? We saw last year, round 3 here at Chelsea, were comfortably in control of Huddersfield and had 1 goal but couldn't get a second, and sure enough, in the second half, Huddersfield got themselves an equaliser.
Yeah, I mean, you have to kill these teams off. No matter what league you're playing, you have to kill teams off, and sooner rather than later. So this second goal is important. I mean, Chelsea will be patient. We know that. We know the way we play the game. However, so the sooner we get it, the better, because it'll break a few hearts.
And on that rainy day here against Colchester, of course, they took the lead. Ricardo Carvalho's own goal. A chance maybe for the second now. Lampard to Shevchenko, who's got space and a bit of time. Still going, Shevchenko. Just wonder if he could have taken it earlier, Tom.
Well, he did. I think for me it's one touch too long there. I mean, it's a great little ball from Frank Lampard. He initially slips the defender there to McIntyre, which gives him a great chance. Has an opportunity there, but Danny Swales does great. He comes along and rescues his left back there, who'd fallen over. And as I said, Sheva just takes too long.
The initial ball from Lampard was behind Shevchenko, but it sort of worked in his favour as Swales slipped. Wright Phillips is onside here. No options in the middle, though. It'll be a corner.
Well, again, it's Lamps. Fantastic ball through to Sean Wright Phillips. Great first touch. Took it into his path, but he didn't look up. Just hit the hopeful ball in. There was absolutely nobody in the box had it gone across, but fortunately got a ricochet off for a corner.
The screw is being well and truly turned. 19 minutes gone. Couple of warning blasts from Shevchenko and co earlier, and then the goal, and now another corner, which is cleared well by Morley. And Hadfield has to turn back because there was no one forward to play a ball to. Otherwise there might have been a break on, but Macclesfield were defending with all 10 outfield players. Jeremy. Just too high for Kalou. That pass aside though, Tom, they're starting to stroke it round rather nicely, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's being very comfortable in midfield. Mikel Obi in particular stroking balls around. He looks very elegant on the ball, the young man, and he stroked a great ball out to Jeremy there, who tried to hit one back to Ashley Cole. Unfortunately, that one didn't work, but Mikel Obi in particular is looking the part.
Cole Regan taking his time over this throw for the visitors. Flicked by Murphy, there's McNeil. Lampard away to the relative safety of Sean Wright-Phillips, and now Ferreira. Shevchenko's onside. If he could have just got on the end of that ball, it's a crucial touch.
Yeah, David Morley, great touch there. I mean, it's a looked like a hopeful ball from Jeremy, but he was seeking out Shevchenko, and David Morley was really struggling to get back and get any contact, but he just about did, and got it away from the Chev as well.
The flag had stayed down, another 6 inches of height on that pass, and Shevchenko could have been in. Now, Macclesfield have won themselves a free kick here. John Obi Mikel whistled up for the infringement. And this is where Chelsea have to be on their guard.
Yeah, I think knowing Paul Ince as I do, I think they'd have practiced this extensively this week, knowing the weakness that Chelsea have got in the air at times without John Terry and now without Didier Drogba. This is a chance, as we said earlier, to expose them.
Kevin McIntyre's saying get nice and narrow in the middle. I just wonder if he's going to chip one in there. Yes, he is. Ferreira underneath it though, and not the greatest volley in the world by Morley, and Chelsea can break with Cole. Blocked off out of it by Navarro. It'll be a Chelsea free kick this time.
I have to say he is very much a footballing centre-half, David Morley, and he's had a low league career, but he's actually a decent footballer, the kid, and on that occasion you expect him to finish that better than he did. He scuffed it off the side of his foot.
He said he couldn't wait to mark Drogba or Shevchenko, only one of them in the team today. Solomon Kalou has taken the place up front, and he's still going here, Kalou. Eventually loses out, but was bundled out of it, and Chelsea now have a free kick in a really dangerous situation. It's Kevin McIntyre again.
Well, there's 3 or 4 people having the nibble at him, weren't there? I mean, he just literally got the ball here, just towed it away, and as he did, McIntyre's come in and just caught him there. I think he'd actually lost possession of the ball. However, there was definitely contact from McIntyre when the ball went away.
Needless to give away that free kick, as you say. Kalou had run out of possession. Tommy Lee charged with making sure that Macclesfield aren't punished in the worst possible way. There's the usual crowd who want to have a pop. Jeremy's there, Shevchenko, and of course Frank Lampard. Just wonder if the captain's going to pull rank.
Well, this is a chance for Shevra, isn't it? I think you see Frank Lampard and Jeremy over the ball, maybe just Shevra having a strike.
Looks that way. It is Shevchenko, and it's well saved. The follow-up is in, but the flag is up. It won't count. Ricardo Carvalho pouncing onto the loose ball, but it won't count.
No, it wasn't. It was a decent save from Tommy Lee there, because he couldn't have seen the ball but late, but Shevra's hit it right past the ball here. But I said the rebound comes out. Ricky, his natural instinct as a centre-back, because they love scoring goals, is to be in the 6-yard box. Unfortunately, maybe just drifts half a yard offside. But I'd have to say he was actually on the edge of the box, edge of the wall when the ball was struck, and that may be an iffy decision.
I think that's probably the first time Hilario's touched the ball.
Well, he made a meal of that, didn't he? He wasn't quite sure when to pick it up and when not to, but eventually got it into his arms.
Did look like Ricardo Carvalho was pretty much level with the wall as he span off. Obviously a great deal of time passes between the ball leaving Shevchenko's foot, coming out again off Lee, by which time Carvalho might look 10 yards offside, but he might not have been. That's
the problem with this rule. I mean, obviously, you know, the linesmen, they have a thankless task. I mean, it's very hard to see when the ball's kicked to when the guy's actually offside. So I have to say, if the decision is wrong, we'd half understand why it was, because he did look about 3 or 4 yards offside.
The miscontrol from Andrei Shevchenko brings the biggest cheer of the day from the 4,000 travelling Macclesfield fans. It's hammering it down out there. Andrei Shevchenko has experienced most things in his football career. I'm not sure if he's experienced anything like FA Cup round 3 day in the driving rain against a team like Macclesfield, who have won themselves another free kick.
It's going to be a yellow card as well for Mikel here. It's a rash challenge, but I have to say, Ben, McIntyre's made 3 rash challenges now, and that's the first of Mikel Obi's, and he gets a yellow card. You know, as I've said many times, I don't like people getting yellow cards, and But if anyone was going to get one, it should have been McIntyre early doors. But he'll have to be very careful. What is there? 25 minutes gone. He's got plenty of time to go in this game. Must be careful of his challenges from now on in.
Well, he will have to be careful. He's only made 5 starts. The second of those was in the Premiership at Reading. And he got sent off that day. 2 yellows. Wasn't too happy about it either, if I remember rightly. Defending to do for Chelsea. In it comes. It's a dangerous one too. John Murphy nearly on the end of it. It squirted through to Hilario in the end.
Well, I just felt that Paulo Ferreira was the wrong side of the forward here. He literally looks like he was trying to nick it, and the forward of a better touch. Yeah, he's the wrong side. I think it's actually Paulo who gets the toe back to him because he's actually the wrong side of him. But a little bit more alert, the striker there. He could have got a striker on target.
I think that's what Jose Mourinho is saying. He might be happier here, though, as Chelsea attack with Kalou. Well fed by Shevchenko. Bridges lost out there. Now Hadfield. Not too many options ahead of him. He's done well under pressure there.
Yeah, he was nice and patient. Wasn't too many options, as you said. But this will give him some encouragement, Ben. Last couple of balls into the box, we've not defended them very well. And a couple of free kicks around the box as well, given away. This will give him a bit of encouragement.
Well, the Chelsea boss was furiously shouting at someone at the end of that free kick. I guess your money would have to be on Paulo Ferreira. Paul Ince just thumped it back onto the field of play. McNeil. Mikel. Seen plenty of the ball so far. As we approach the half-hour mark. Here's the man whose goal is currently separating the sides. Ferreira again. Shevchenko called for it early. Ferreira continuing his run. Lampard. Out wide to Wright Phillips. Taking on McIntyre. Decent ball in as well from Wright Phillips. Really dangerous cross. No one connected.
Well, that was top grade. I mean, that's one of the best balls I've seen it into the box. So I don't know how Kalou's not made contact with this. It looks like he got a bit of contact from behind, possibly a penalty. But I have to say he didn't appeal for it. But great ball from Sean Wright Phillips.
And here he is again, Wright Phillips. Great pace to get away from the first man. But not enough to get away from the second challenge. Just getting warmed up, SWP.
Yeah, it's nice to see him confident as it running at the back four. It was a great ball just now, as I said, and that was a quality run into the box there. And unfortunately, just as he's about to strike it, the defender got a toe away. But lovely to see him nice and positive.
Incredible burst of acceleration to get away from that first challenge. Lampard with the corner. And towards Carvalho's up, Mikel's up too. Headed away, here's Wright Phillips again. And Lampard. Slid under Jeremy's feet. Momentum dies just for a second. Here's Mikel. Looks wide to that well-known left winger Ricardo Carvalho.
Well, he's just scored a goal, albeit offside, so he's got the bit between his teeth at the moment, Ricky.
Cole. Bridge bombing on, and Cole looks for him and finds him. Decent pass. Just tried to shift it inside to Kalou on the reverse. Nearly worked.
Yeah, it was a great ball initially from Ashley Cole that saw the runaway Bridge there, but I think he just lost his balance and tried to flick it off to Solomon Kalou, who was making a run, and maybe should have held on to it while he regained his balance.
Mikel again. Cole out wide. Kalou again in the same sort of position he set the goal up from. He's running again well, Kalou, but it's just off Regan, was it, and kept in by Lee.
He's defended well, the young right back. He's running at him there, and we know Solomon Kalou's got a trick in his locker, but he stood up and it eventually worried him out of it, and Tommy Lee saved the corner.
Carvalho. Kalu again.
Ashley Cole just played a 1-2 with Wainbridge there, and I think it was Colin Heath blocked him off. The referee didn't see it, but it was as blatant as it comes.
Chelsea, 4 finals in the last 13 years. Macclesfield, round 3 is their best. 5 times they've been here, never beyond. And the goal down here today, Wayne Bridge just slipping it past Navarro, was he? And taken out. A fairly hefty challenge, it has to be said, from Jordan Hadfield.
Well, you tell me the difference between that and the Mikel Obi challenge.
None.
I can't see it personally, and that's what I'm saying. You know, it just I don't want to see what boys, but I want to see equation. I want to see equality on the pitch, and you know, it's not happening.
Important header from McIntyre under pressure from Wright Phillips there. It's his clearance towards McNeil. Navarro forced back towards his skipper, Morley. A chance maybe for a break here. Jeremy's got some defending to do, but the shot comes in the end. Hilario watched it go wide. Martin Bullock just didn't quite seem to believe in himself with the shot there. He didn't really let fly at it.
No, he didn't. I was a big fan of this little man when he played at Barnsley. I thought he was excellent, and I think he played in the game where we beat him 6-2, and Luca got a couple of goals for Barnsley that day, and he was very, very good. And unfortunately, his career didn't go up as I expected. I think he's been at Blackpool and a few of the sort of lower league teams, and he's now applying his trade at Macclesfield. But he's got talent, the kid.
Memory serves, I think Luca got 4 that day. Here's Mikel. Now Lampard. Plenty of blue shirts up with him. One of them's Bridge. Another is Cole. Shevchenko calls for it. The ball's on the heavy side, but it's found Wright Phillips all the way over on the other side, but he can't keep it in. It's just slid and slid and slid off that turf.
Once I made the point, you know, this is going to make it really zippy there. I actually thought Sean Wright Phillips should have come and met it a little bit earlier than perhaps he tried to, but it wasn't the worst ball I've seen from Ashley Cole, but unfortunately it's gone to waste.
Wright Phillips nicks in to nick the ball, and Lampard's got it now. Nice piece of skill too. Get the better of Alan Navarro, and he's won Chelsea a free kick.
Yeah, he's not pleased, the Macclesfield fans behind that the shed goal there, because they felt he just sort of fell over a little bit easier, but there was definitely contact from Navarro, and Frank goes over, and definitely a free kick.
Plenty of blue shirts up, only Ashley Cole and Paulo Ferreira back really. Options all over the place. It's the aerial one from Lampard. McIntyre got his head on it. It'll be a corner. And it comes, that corner. Shevchenko almost got ahead to that one. Heath having to turn back. It's another challenge through the back, this time from Carl Regan. Just wonder if he's going to have a word.
Well, he's got to have a word, and Jose's out there having a little bit of a word with the fourth official, but they can't allow this to continue. Early doors it was McIntyre trying to assault Sean Wright Phillips. There's been a couple of rash challenges since, and the only one he's booked is Mikel Obi for the only challenge he's made. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes, that did appear to be another one. Steve Clark's down there as well, having a little chat with the fourth official, saying much the same thing as you, Tommy. Here's Paulo. Carvalho alongside him. Two centre-halves and the keeper, of course, for Chelsea, all Portuguese, so there shouldn't be too many communication problems. Cole trying to get the better of Heath. Here's Kalou. Neat feet to find Bridge. Equally neat feet to get away from the challenge. Cole again. Good closing down, though, from the whole right side of Macclesfield Town. Heath and Regan all in there. And the ball forward towards Matty McNeil. He's going to get on the end of it, McNeil. And he's still there, and it took a good tackle, well timed by Ricardo Carvalho to deny him a chance of maybe testing Hilario. And now Mikel's brought down.
Well, this is getting silly, and I think he's actually going to draw out a yellow card here because they made 4 or 5 really rash challenges in his past 5 minutes, and I think on this occasion he's going to get a yellow card. It's a bit unfortunate because I think he's suffering from the other bad challenges that have gone before.
Yes, I don't think it was any worse. In fact, it probably was, well, less of a yellow card offence than the 3 previous ones, but Alan Navarro's name will go into Lee Mason's notebook. The Stamford Bridge breaks into a light ripple of applause.
I think it was ironic cheers there because I think they'd also seen 1 or 2 rash challenges and felt they deserved their cards perhaps before this, but I think, as I said, this is probably the least offensive of the challenges we've just seen.
Here's Mikel, not suffering any ill effects from that challenge from behind. Lampard spots Kalou, and all Cole Regan could do was glance head it clear. Couldn't have been too sure what was behind him, but I bet he had a fair idea that Solomon Kalou was there somewhere. It'll be another Chelsea corner.
Well, he was in and around him, wasn't he? But I think if he'd let it bounce, it was going to zip off the pitch and perhaps go for a harmless goal kick. But he did have to have a touch, as you say, or he felt he had to have a touch, and the corner comes in.
Which Frank Lampard, as ever, will take. No immediate threat. Hadfield doing well, outmuscles Wright Phillips. Not the toughest job in the world. Here he is again, Hadfield. Bullock. Now Heath and Regan. And again, a bit of a slippy, slidey one from Sean Wright Phillips there. Took out Cole Regan. I think more momentum than anything else.
Yes, it was. I mean, he did go to ground, I have to say, and sometimes I see that as causing its own problems, because if you go to ground, you're naturally going to slide on this pitch. But it wasn't malicious by any stretch of imagination.
A little bit pot luck so far as to what kind of challenge gets you in the book and what doesn't. That could have been one. Forward by Morley. And a flick from McNeil. And that should be Hilario's. And is. Shevchenko. Just beaten to it by Tommy Lee, who, with a step or two more, might have found himself in a bit of bother outside of his box. Swales. Navarro. Swales looking long towards McNeil. The flick on's quite a good one. John Murphy has got the better of Carvalho here. Murphy has scored! The shock is back on at the bridge. Macclesfield Town have equalised. Ricardo Carvalho slipped and Murphy has put it, I think, through Hilario's legs, Tom.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can talk, Ben. I'm a little bit gobsmacked, I have to say. Initially it was a great flick on, and Murphy just makes a run off of Ricardo Carvalho, but he's always favourite here. And he just falls over. He literally slips as he's trying to play out to Ashley Cole. Should have just put his foot through it. He didn't. Hilario's left one-on-one. To be fair, a lot of them shots go through goalkeeper's legs, and you can't blame him for it. But Ricky's favourite here. He's got the ball, misses it with his right foot. It falls lovely for the striker. And even a striker of Macclesfield don't miss chances like that.
Well, yes, I wonder if the slip had caused the problem. But in fact, he did go at it first and just clean missed it with his right foot, Ricardo Carvalho. And John Murphy, here on loan from Blackpool, got the winner in round 2 against Hartlepool, and he's got an even bigger one here.
Well, these should be easy occasions for the boys. They should be able to stroll around and enjoy their football whilst taking it seriously, if that's not a contradiction, literally just enjoy the day. But it's turning into, 4 or 5 minutes to go to half-time, and we need to get a goal a bit sooner rather than later to put the nerves back on, because that's a horrendous mistake from Ricardo.
Maybe a chance for an instant response with Lampard! There is the instant response! The captain's done it again!
Well, I have to say, the Macclesfield fans haven't even sat down from celebrating the goal. And Frank Lampard, as I just said, you've got to get the nerves jangling a little bit more now, and we did. It was just a simple ball played forward. They didn't defend it very well. They looked a little bit nervy. It fell again to Frank Lampard, cutting field, and a quality finish with his left foot. And just what Macclesfield didn't want, but just exactly what we needed.
Well, perhaps romance is dead after all. And the Macclesfield Town fans, who, as you say, were still celebrating and literally had not sat down, are glum again because they're a goal down. Just a few minutes left of this first half. And Frank Lampard might have spared Chelsea's blushes here. So I was just about to say that this keeps happening. Last couple of years, Scunthorpe, Huddersfield and Colchester have all come here and scored, either to take the lead or to equalise, and it happened again via John Murphy, but Macclesfield have to do it again now.
It's just the manner of conceding goals, Ben, as well. It would alarm a lot of people. I mean, Ricardo Carvalho's had a great season, and since John Terry's gone missing, he's really stepped up and led that back line. However, uncharacteristic as it is, it put them back in the game. But another one, Frank Lampard, who's been fantastic week in, week out for the past few years, comes and rescues the situation, as you say.
I was just going to bring up the subject of clean sheets with you, Tommy, whatever the competition may be. But more trouble here as Heath beaten cold to the ball. The cross is too near Hilario, with McNeil steaming in behind him. And Kalou, maybe on the end of this, lays out bravely and really well to deny Kalou. Bit of a collision between the two of them, I think.
Yeah, there was. It was great goalkeeping, very, very brave here. I mean, it's again a long, hopeful punt from Hilario. The last one actually nearly fell to Shevchenko. But Tommy Lee on this occasion, look, Kalou's looking at the ball, no problems there. He expects to have a nice, easy volley, but Tommy Lee comes out bravely, and they both get a bit of a rap here, but hopefully both will be well enough to continue.
And this will be particularly worrying for Paul Ince, not least because he doesn't have a substitute keeper on the bench.
Well, I was actually just going to say to you, obviously I know he's the reserve goalkeeper, and I wonder who they had on the bench. And I think we saw last week at Sheffield United, was it Phil Jagielka going in goal against the last sort of 20 minutes against Arsenal, and he wasn't tested too much, but I'm sure they won't want a non-goalkeeper going in today, because I'm sure he's going to get tested more than perhaps Jagielka did last week.
And he's still down, Tommy Lee. And they've had a spate of horrendous injuries, Macclesfield. They've had 3 broken legs this season, including one to their first choice keeper, as I mentioned earlier, Johnny Brain. Just wonder if John Murphy might go in goal. He's one of the big ones out there.
Well, I think you'll look for one of your older statesmen to take some sort of responsibility. David Morley being the captain and defender, I'm sure he won't go in. Maybe it's a forward, because but he looks okay, to be fair. I think it was a painful rap, but he looks as though he's getting to his feet, and we're all pleased about that. I tell you what I say, Ben, especially we would feel that more than most. The horrendous injury we've had to our keepers this year, we expect injuries to goalkeeper perhaps more than most teams at this moment in time.
Yes, 3 of them out. Magnus Hedman is joining Carlo Cudicini and Petr Cech on the sidelines at the moment. That's why Yves Macalambi is on Chelsea's bench today. Probably took a couple of whacks in a couple of different places there from Solomon Kalou, who himself seems okay. And thankfully, I think Tommy Lee is too.
No, I can't believe this rule that he hasn't got to go off, surely, if he's had treatment.
Goalkeepers don't.
No, I was going to say, no, there's a few people looking at the referees if they tell me he hasn't got to go off, but no, I thought that was the rule.
The fourth commissioners indicating a minimum of 3 minutes of added time.
Bridge. Into the first of 3 minutes of added time here at the Bridge. And here is Bridge. Forced back by some hard-working Macclesfield midfielders. Hadfield there, Regan as well. Still Bridge. He's done really well to find Kalou, who's onside. Shevchenko in the middle. The ball's towards him. Here's Bridge again. Third goal here, you'd think, would put things to bed for Chelsea. Lampard.
Yeah, he'd also like to think that the boys are brighter than that. Solomon Kalou looks up. He's played against David Morley for 45 minutes now. He's got to realise he's 6'4", and you've got to get the ball over him. But he tried to be too tricky there, and easy clearance from the defender.
The whistle's gone. There's another injury here. Just wondering if that's a head injury. I think the card's coming out of Lee Mason's pocket again here. Andrei Shevchenko.
Well, he's just clearing the ball in. Andrei's trying to go for it. I think he catches him on the heel, and it looks like a sort of more painful wrap than it initially is now. I mean, he's walking okay now, and as you say, he's just on the halfway line there. He comes in, Sheva. The guy's just making a contact with him. He just catches him on the back of the heel, and it's one of the things that happens every day, but Sheva gets a yellow card for it.
McIntyre chips it towards the box. Murphy with the flick, and the secondary flick as well from Swales, and it's not cleared yet. Heath with the ball in. Now Bullock, and it is away this time by Wayne Bridge. And there could be a break on here for Sean Wright-Phillips, and we know he's got the legs. He hasn't got the passing capability just at this moment. Jordan Hadfield in to nick it ahead of Frank Lampard. That was a real chance to bury the game and make it 3-1.
Well, it was disappointing ball from Sean. 3-on-3. You'd expect him to do, with his quality, to pace the ball better than Frank Lampard. Give the defender a chance to get back. Extremely disappointing.
There's Lampard again. Now Jeremy. And Lampard finds Carvalho. McKell's lost out. Here's Heath. Has he got time to find the Chelsea net for a second time for Macclesfield? Bullock on the run. He's done well, Bullock. And the ball has slid in, and it's a good one. Matty McNeil says he had a shove.
Well, I've got to say, that's a fantastic ball in from Martin Bullock. There goes the outside of Jeremy. Slides the ball to the near post, and both strikers are coming in there. Matty McNeil and John Murphy. There was definitely contact, but what a fantastic ball. Right
in the danger area. Something Chelsea will have to look at for the second half, Tommy. What do you expect to see from them?
Well, I expect to see them moving the ball around as quick as we possibly can, and preying on the tired legs of Macclesfield. They've worked very hard to close us down, but we should make hay in the second half.
Macclesfield looking for a sting in the tail to this first half. Ball in towards Murphy. Carvalho does all he can to head it away. And Wright-Phillips with another chance to run at Danny Swales. They cope well with him. And the whistle has gone. It was all looking comfortable enough for the Blues to begin with, at least. Captain Frank Lampard giving Chelsea an early lead. But John Murphy took advantage of a defensive error for a shock equaliser with 5 minutes left. But before you could say round 3 shock giant killing, Frank Lampard was there again to equalise Murphy's goal. His and Chelsea's second, and at half-time at Stamford Bridge, it is Chelsea 2, Macclesfield Town 1. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge. John Murphy's going to have to do it all again. His moment in the sun lasted all of 45 seconds, having brought Macclesfield Town back level in this FA Cup round 3 tie. Just thinking, Tommy, Chelsea won the last final at the old Wembley. It would have a nice symmetry if they managed to get back there Well, they say it's going to be finished for this year's cup final. You never know, do you? But it'd be nice to be back there for the first one at the new one.
It would be extremely pleasant, and the FA Cup's got great memories because when we weren't as good as we are now, the FA Cup was all we had to grab onto, and we did it many times. And obviously 70 rank was in my memory very, very well with Ozzy and Hutch and all them sort of guys playing. And I love the FA Cup, so it's got a lot of romance for me, and Wembley would be lovely in the middle of May.
1970, 1997, of course, and 2000. Since which time Chelsea are competing on even bigger levels, but don't for a minute think that they wouldn't love this FA Cup. It's the only domestic trophy Jose Mourinho's yet to win. Of course, in England, he's had the Charity Shield, the Carling Cup, and of course the Premiership a couple of times over. Early touch for Regan on that far right side. I guess he'll have to push up a bit more as the game goes on. Try and bring Macclesfield level again.
We talk many times about the romance of the Cup. What about the money of the Cup? I mean, this is a great payday for Macclesfield, and if the worst thing could happen for Chelsea, i.e. there's a replay, what a great money spinner it would be for the club, so for Macclesfield. So I'm sure they'll be hoping they get this equaliser.
Well, this is the funny situation you're in. It's actually better for Macclesfield to draw this game than to win it.
Yes, in a very weird sort of way, but I think either result was a long-distant hope when they kicked off, but at this moment in time they're very much in the frame.
They are making £500,000 from their 1/3 share of this gate. If it was a televised game, it would be even more.
Well, I'd have to say, Ben, if you said that the centre-half is their most expensive player at 40,000, they could replace the whole of their team, plus a sub, so happy days.
Absolutely. Not happy at the moment, though, if they concede another one here. Shevchenko just into the feet of Wright Phillips. He's done really well. And Shevchenko's in here. He's round the keeper. It has to be a penalty. Tommy Lee has upended Andrei Shevchenko.
Well, I've got to say, please don't send him off because he's gone wide, Shevchenko. I think the defender's actually getting back anyway. I'm not sure he'd have stopped the shot from Sheva, but if you look here, the defender, David Morley's gone the other side. There is someone there. I hope he doesn't send him off. This will really disappoint me. There's definitely contact. It's definitely a penalty, not a problem. I actually think Sheva's looking for it as opposed to scoring, and that disappoints me because I think for a finisher like him, he should go around him and finish it. He's now having a chat with Frank Lampard. Let me take the pen. But Frank's saying, no, I'm on the hat-trick, and I think I'll take it. But disappointing me, he didn't finish it in the first place.
Well, Lee Mason just conferring with his assistant. I guess the question is, was David Morley going to make it back? And this is something that only Lee Mason has the official answer to.
And I think Sheva's going to say that as well. I think Sheva's just trying to say this, and don't send him off. There's no problem here.
Well, Tommy Lee is still down. I wonder how injured he is. I tell you what, I bet he's pretty worried in any case that he might be being sent off, even if he's not hurt.
Well, I think he's down there trying to calm his pulse down, because I think when he gets up, he's not sure if he's going to get a red or a yellow card.
Meanwhile, Frank Lampard waits to take a penalty.
Oh,
it is a red card. And I don't think it needed to be, in fairness. Tommy Lee is devastated. You can see it all over his face.
Well, that's even worse for them. They haven't got a reserve keeper. So, again, an outfield player's going to have to be sacrificed and in goal. And I've got to say, from the spectacle of a game, I just think sense should prevail there. And David Morley was getting back. I don't think he'd have stopped the shot from Andrei Shevchenko. There was definitely a penalty. If we score the goal, that should be it, done and dusted. But disappointed to see the boy go off, I have to say that.
Yes, and not because it's Macclesfield and people want to see 11v11 and because of the fairy tale and all of that. There's a clear question there that David Morley would have got back. And
well, David Morley was back. I mean, he was beyond the goalkeeper and Sheva. As I said, I don't think he'd have stopped the ensuing shot. However, he was definitely back beyond the striker and the goalkeeper. And that, for me, should have given a bit of doubt to the assistant referee. But they had a long debate on this right-hand side. And after that debate, decided it was a red card offence.
Well, who on earth is going to go in goal for Macclesfield? They don't have one on the bench. And Frank Lampard still waits. Looks like it will be him to try for a hat-trick. And eventually It will be Lampard. I just wondered for a moment whether he was going to let Shevchenko take it. He was hanging around the edge of the box.
Well, Shevell was appealing, listen, I got it, can I take it? But Frank's saying, listen, I'm on an hat-trick, there's no chance, and I'm sure he'll whack this away gleefully.
The skipper has gone in goal. David Morley. You just said it might not be the big centre-half, but maybe again an old head being the captain. I can't believe there's been a longer wait for a penalty than this. It's 5 minutes we've been going on this one. Frank Lampard's pulse has probably gone down and up again and down and up again. David Morley could make himself a real hero here.
Well, he's a Scouser. He's got no problem with a bit of personality, the boy, but he'll need more than personality, I think, to save this penalty, but we'll see.
Will he smash it? Will he place it? Be a little bit of history for Frank Lampard if he gets it. We're just about ready. There's Lee Mason's whistle. Here's Frank Lampard. Oh, I tell you what, David Morley nearly got to that one.
Well, he looked as though he actually went through his legs and under his arms. I can't say that he went in the right way. It was a good height for Frank to hit it, because obviously it's low down, and David Morley is 6'4", but he went in the right way, and it just went under his right arm there. But good finish from Frank, and 3-1 should be game over.
Well, 3-1 should be game over. The captain has got himself a hat-trick for the first time in a blue shirt, but not for the first time ever. He got one in the League Cup for West Ham 10 years ago. He's got himself a Chelsea hat-trick today, Frank Lampard, and the skipper has really made his presence felt out there. We weren't sure if he was going to play even. James Jennings, meantime, has come on for Macclesfield. Just tot up the numbers and see who's gone off, but it is, of course, 10v11 and 3 versus 1 in terms of goals, and it should be plain sailing for Chelsea from here on in. Matty McNeil, the big front man, is the player who's been sacrificed, so John Murphy's going to plough a lone furrow up there.
I said earlier, mate, when you're looking at Didier Drogba not playing today, you're looking at people who's going to get the goals for us. We're looking at Sheva, looking at Solomon, and Sean Wright-Phillips in particular. But again, it's that man stepping up, isn't it? Fantastic quality he's got week in, week out. He was one that was due a rest as well, but he's played today, play wholeheartedly, and he's got his rewards. 2 fantastic finishes, and obviously a penalty.
9 goals in all competitions before today, 12 now.
And on my way in today, I saw Big Frank, shook hands, wished him Happy New Year, and I'm sure he's an extremely proud man today. I'm sure he's always proud of his son, but today, nice hat-trick in the FA Cup. Great way to start his FA Cup campaign of this year.
Bridge. Now Cole. You think Chelsea might just relax a little bit and start passing it around now. Here's Shevchenko, who will want a goal. I have to say, Tommy, I agree with you. I thought he might have been able to stay on his feet and put the ball in the net, which he thought would have been more valuable to him than winning a pen.
Well, I think obviously initially he could have even bent the ball around the goalkeeper, because there was plenty of space there. He got through and could have just slid it past the keeper as he came out. He didn't. He decided to go round him. And on that occasion, he ran into the keeper and wanted the penalty, which surprised me, because knowing Frank Lampard as I do, he was always going to take it.
McIntyre. There's the substitute Jennings. Macclesfield really up against it now. With 10 men, they need to score twice. Here's Bullock. Someone might tell me that stranger things have happened than this, but I can't say I could think of any.
No, not on days like today. You know, it was a tall order from day one, but 2-0 down, 10 men. It's now become almost impossible.
Shevchenko finds Kalou. Blue shirts bursting forward. Kalou might not need any of them. He's played his Shevchenko, who's onside, and what a fantastic save that is by Morley. Andrei Shevchenko's having that kind of month at the moment. He can't even beat David Morley.
Well, this is Kalou, just slides him in there. It's a great little ball. He's on his right foot. He scored from a similar angle against Levski Sofia, where he just played it into the far corner with the outside of his right foot. On that occasion, it's David Morley, I think in the middle of the body, but he gets his frame in the way and over the bar it goes.
What a save. Lampard's corner. Carvalho's header over the bar. Nearly 4.
Well, he nearly saved a penalty as well, so he's had a good opening 5 minutes in goal, David Morley. But on that occasion, Sheva, you know, this is Ricky's header. Just unfortunately can't get over the ball and heads it over the bar. But Sheva looking for that little bit of confidence. It was a great ball from Solomon Kalou, but he just couldn't finish it, even though he hit the target.
League Two Manager of the Month, Paul Ince. He's going to need all that magic tenfold to pull off anything here now. Jeremy. Shevchenko with the flick on, a nice one it was too. Lampard almost on the end of it. Here's Jennings and Bullock.
I was saying to Ed the Ben, obviously with the young boys on the bench now, this may be the opportunity they need to at 3-1 with 10 men, to give them sort of 25-30 minutes. It's coming up to the hour mark now, 5 minutes away, and you'd think they're warming up to come on and give them a bit of experience. It's a great place to be playing today, no real pressure on them, and hope they can enjoy the occasion.
Ferreira. Now Jeremy. Bullock's kept it in. He's put his side in a bit of trouble there. Lampard and Wright Phillips exchange passes. Wright Phillips with the cross. Regan across to cover.
Yeah, he was, but Solomon Kalou's offside, and there's no way he should be offside. He's looking right along the line there, and he should see he's drifted a yard offside, adjust his position accordingly, but he didn't. And even though it was cleared, linesman's give offside.
Ben Sahar, one of those young substitutes Tommy was referring to, warming up just behind the linesman there. You might have seen by the corner flag. Nuno Moraes down there too. Jennings. Back to the standing keeper Morley. Carvalho with acres of space. He's continued his run momentarily. Kalou. Back to Carvalho, and now Bridge. Kalou's done well, good body strength, but he didn't get the better of Regan on that occasion. A tasty little back heel down by the corner flag. Eventually the ball's cleared, and Ashley Cole, good job, he got his foot in there.
Oh, referees give a free kick in. If he lets play go on, Ricky's in on goal. It's a poor decision from the referee there. I know it is a free kick, but if he lets play go on, Ricky's in on goal.
Okay, out to Jeremy. Frank Lampard. Here he is again. Imagine 4 in a game. Here's Bridge. Through for Lampard, just beaten to it. Now Bullock. And Macclesfield are going to have to run their legs off here. McIntyre. Oh, the touch just let him down. He was there with Ferreira. He's done well to recover. Jeremy helping him out. And Chelsea's throw.
Well, I think his left legs just gave away there. He's fully made a run, I think 60 yards there to support Martin Bullock. He's gone down the left-hand side, trying to outrun Paulo Ferreira, but I think his legs just went in the end.
It's another substitute coming from Macclesfield. John Miles is going to come on. Colin Heath, that right-hand side going off. Should be like for like. We shall see. One right-sided player for another. Cole. Chelsea subs warm-up routine is getting a little bit more vigorous down on that touchline.
Well, the two in particular are Ben Sahar and Nuno Moraes. They seem to be warming up. I think you might see Sheva, and you may well see Ricky Carvalho given a little bit of a rest here earlier than normal. That's a poor ball from Mikel Obi. I said earlier about he looks so elegant on the ball, but he lacks concentration at times. That elegance goes into a bit of lapse of concentration, and he looks awful.
And ball there, which is why Macclesfield had the free kick. They've not done much with the ball, though. Gifted it back for Jeremy, who'll take this throw. Here's Mikel again.
No, it's hard enough when you're passing the ball well against 11 men, but when you're passing it poorly like they are at the moment, Macclesfield, and you're giving the ball straight back, and it's going to be a long sort of 30 minutes remaining.
Great ball that from Bridge, almost found Kalou. Tidy bit of defending from Cole Regan to cut it out. I'm sure they'll try their hearts out here, Macclesfield, but Bullets has insisted, as they so often do, that the league game against Barnet next week is bigger than this. In their position, I guess you'd have to agree with him. They're still second bottom despite their incredible run of form. 2 going down, of course, out of League 2 this year.
Yeah, very much showing. They got a great result a couple of weeks ago. David Morley actually scored a goal at Torquay, which were the bottom team at the time, so very important. But they need to, keep that momentum going. And Pauling's done a fantastic job from where you said they were earlier. I think, a dozen points adrift at the bottom there, and he's done a great job. Hopefully they can stay up.
19 points from 21. It's the league run they're on. Amongst a cluster of teams now, they are second bottom, but 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th bottom are all 1 or 2 points away. So
yeah, what that run of form has done is bring them a lot closer to the pack in front of them, and as I said, if they maintain that form, they'll almost be in promotion form, so I'm sure they will avoid a relegation.
Today they just want to avoid a drubbing, I'd imagine, or maybe sneak something and make it 3-2, which might make it a little bit tasty for the closing half hour or so. Bullock with the cute ball to find Hadfield. Substitute Miles losing out in the end, but possession still with the visiting side, and here's Bullock again. Just trying to slip John Murphy in. Now, how about a Chelsea break? Wright Phillips, man on is the cry. McIntyre getting stuck in. The ball still at the feet of Chelsea players. This one is Ashley Cole, sliding one through just on the heavy side. Bridge maybe just trying to nick in. David Morley sliding out, looking every inch the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was great aware keeping from David Morley there, and used all his defenders' wiles there to see the ball coming through. It was a great ball from Ashley Cole, perhaps maybe half a yard over hit, but he had to with the pitch sort of dragging now as opposed to zipping, and unfortunately Morley got there before Wayne Bridge.
One England left back setting up another. John Miles with a neat ball through. It's another chance, this one. Hilario with the fingertips, and it had to be. John Murphy nearly had another, and we were almost looking at a scoreline of 3-2.
Well, it's a great little run on that right-hand side, and it took on Ashley Cole, just sold a few dummies, but played a great little ball in behind Ricardo Carvalho here. Definitely onside. He just tries to chip it to that far post. In fact, Ricky gets a bit of contact on it. Hilario just gets the faintest of touches that takes it for a corner.
As Carvalho already on the ground, made the challenge that got a piece of that ball, and looped up, and Hilario just did enough to push it onto the roof of the net. And 10 men or 11, a corner is a good chance for a goal. In it comes from McIntyre. Hilario came and got nowhere near it. Lampard heads to safety.
Hilario again coming out like doing his Superman act, and I have to say, getting nowhere near the ball. And he frightens the life out of me when balls are into the box, but fortunately defenders took responsibility and got it clear.
Sean Wright Phillips with some really neat feet. He's got away from Bullock and Jennings, and it's another great ball. Kalou's header for the second time in this game. Sean Wright Phillips has produced a peach of a cross. You couldn't ask any more than that, Tom.
Well, the first one was driven to the far post in the first half when Kalou didn't make contact. On that occasion, just drifts the ball into that near stick. David Morley comes out, getting nowhere near it, and Kalou should be more positive there. He's got to get a better header on it and steer it onto the target.
Headed chances don't come much better than that one. And it looks like Changes are afoot on the Chelsea bench. Excellent strength. Far side by Ricardo Carvalho. Here's Kalu again.
That was great play, Ben. I mean, again, the ball from Kalu was shocking, and Ricky got him out of trouble there and really did a good job for him.
Hadfield almost losing out to Lampard, but in the end does really well, Jordan Hadfield. Had a good game, as has Martin Bullock, in fairness. Missed out there, though. Jeremy tidies up.
You know, you say sometimes football teams reflect their managers, and anyone who saw Paul Ince play football knows this is his team, and they're absolutely dogged. Every challenge they make's a firm one, and they're not pulling out of anything, and they're working their socks off, and actually just replicates what Paul Ince did as a footballer.
You'd have to say, in the minutes we've had since Tommy Lee was sent off, it hasn't looked like 10 versus 11 necessarily. Here's Kalu. It's just behind Shevchenko.
Yeah, that was just a miscommunication there, and ball was played into where he thought Shevell was running, and he went the other way, but one of them things. No, you're right, Ben. I mean, you know, it's especially with the chance that Murphy had, which was just tips over the bar from Hilario. 3-2 with 10 men. I mean, we couldn't have envisaged that when Tommy Lee got sent off, but they passed the ball decent in his last 5 minutes and putting us under a bit of pressure.
Pressure coming the other way now, though. Lampard. Kalu's onside. Shevchenko's in the middle. Kalu's ball is over all of them. Will Frank Lampard keep it in? Yes, he will. Cole. Bridge. Lampard whips one in. It's a tidy one too, and it's a fourth goal for Chelsea. The flag stays down. Sean Wright-Phillips has Chelsea's fourth, and that really does wrap it up.
Well, I'll wax lyrical about Frank Lampard. He's got a hat-trick, but this just epitomises the man. He chases a lost cause here. This is a ball played over the top. He chases a lost cause, gets the ball back, stops it from going off, plays it back to the defenders who give it back to him, whips a magnificent ball in, and Sean Wright-Phillips, with the faintest of touches, just slides it past. But this is all about Frank Lampard, nobody else. This is a good run from Sean Wright-Phillips that gets him in the box, but Frank Lampard makes it. Different class.
Absolutely, and there were 3 blue shirts. You could have put it in. Wright-Phillips just beat Shevchenko and Kalu to it. There'll be some immediate activity on the Chelsea bench. Sean Wright-Phillips with his second Chelsea goal. Scored here against Levski Sofia not so long ago. That was his first in 18 months. That was a belter. This one was just a little glancing touch. As you said, Tommy, the ball made it.
Well, there was only one of 3 could have finished it, wasn't there? There was Kalu, there was Shevchenko, and obviously Sean Wright-Phillips was coming across at pace, just got in front of both of them, but it was the quality of the ball that made it.
It's got to be at least 5 minutes of added time, you'd think, so you're looking at best part of half an hour of this game left. And we saw some tracksuits coming off on the Chelsea bench once the ball hit the net for the 4th time. Here's Jeremy. Shevchenko, who will fancy his chances, or would have at the beginning of today, of adding to his goal tally for Chelsea. He might not have that much longer left. You'd think one of the substitutions would probably be an attacking one, as Lampard tries to slip a tidy ball for Wayne Bridge in. And here he is again. The ball in. It's this time too close to Morley.
Yeah, listen, I can't do anything else but marvel at Frank Lampard's attitude in this game. It is Macclesfield, it is the 3rd round in the FA Cup, and we're 4-1 up, but he's absolutely running right in there. He's chasing everything down and getting his rewards, because he's getting the balls in good areas.
Hadfield. And Swales. That'll be Hilario's. Flag was up against John Murphy in any case. And just for a few glorious seconds, the Macclesfield fans were dreaming of FA Cup glory. John Murphy brought that to them with that goal 5 minutes before the break. But immediately since then, it really has been one-way traffic. Mikel with a lovely ball to play Sean Wright-Phillips in onside. Morley didn't come Right, Phillips with a couple of people to maybe pick out. He's put it behind Kalou, who still has possession. Solomon Kalou, crowded out in the end, was he? He did well. Shevchenko works for him for the shot, blocked immediately, and the moment it seems has gone. Navarro. Gave John Miles very little chance with that pass. Kalou. Shevchenko. Still Shevchenko trying to slip Lampard in.
I've got to say, Sheva there should have played it first time. Frank Lampard made a great run there, and a first time ball from Sheva would have seen him in space, but he held on to the ball too long. Eventually defenders got back.
Nuno Moraes is about to enter the fray for the home side. The number 33 is stripped and ready. You mentioned earlier, Tommy, might be a chance to rest Ricardo Carvalho, who's been doing pretty much all of Chelsea's defending recently.
Well, he's even scored an offside goal and got forward when he may have scored as well when there was a free kick given. But no, he's played well, Ricky, apart from that horrendous mistake which gave him the goal. And if he can just eradicate them odd mistakes out of his game, he would be top grade.
Nuno Moraes is ready. We just need Lee Mason to spot it, which he now has. And it's the captain who's coming off. Frank Lampard, who has marked this captaincy in the FA Cup third round with a historical hat-trick, his first for Chelsea, his second ever in his career. He's done more than enough to lead his side into round 4. And it's a very rare occasion we see Frank Lampard coming off as a substitute, but it's totally understandable in these.
Well, just recently we've needed him right to the final minute, and at 4-1 up, this is the opportunity. If we've been 4-1 up against Fulham, Reading or anybody else, Aston Villa, I'm sure he'd have been brought off as well to save his legs, but he's done the job for us today. He's got us back in the game at 1-1. When we needed an immediate goal, we got that, and he's got a great hat-trick and made the 4th, so his contribution has been fantastic today, as always.
Nuno Moraes, 23 at the end of this month, coming on for a rare appearance in a Chelsea shirt. It's been there 2.5 years. Just the one start before today. That was in round 3 here against Scunthorpe a couple of seasons ago.
Thinking about our round 3 draws have been all right recently, haven't they? Scunthorpe, was it Huddersfield last year, and obviously Macclesfield today.
All at home, possibly crucially.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you've had a really hectic Christmas and a lot of points at stake, and you look at the fixtures, you know you've got a home tie against a fairly easy side, so it does help the mentality a touch.
Macclesfield also making a change. Jamie Tolley's coming on. Jordan Hadfield's day is done. Not a great deal Jamie Tolley's going to be able to do about the scoreline, but he'll still be able to say he's played at Stamford Bridge. Former Peterborough midfielder or wide man, depending on when he's playing. Regan looks long towards Murphy. He's won a free kick. I think he, in fairness to him, he'd done well to turn his man and was held back.
Yeah, used all of the experience there, didn't he? Ashley Cole there just tried to nick the ball off him, just rolled him a little bit there, and actually give away a free kick. It's good forward play because they need to get out of their own zone, and they wasn't doing that, and he's held the ball up well for him.
More changes coming for Chelsea, but more of that in a moment. Got some defending to do here, as Ricardo Carvalho has done after Ashley Cole possibly blocked off John Miles. Regan with the ball in, not many to aim at, and Hilario has taken that one cleanly. Cole. Pass for Kalou. Cut out. But cut out by a man in the spot of bother over on that far side.
Well, it looks like he might just tweaked a muscle here. It looks like he's just stretched to cut out the ball from Ashley Cole to Solomon Kalou, and looks like he's just overstretched, and he's actually in a lot of pain.
That's the last thing Macclesfield need. They've had a couple of injuries today. A man sent off. Now they got the substitute John Miles. As you say, just must have tweaked something. He's played the ball out immediately as soon as he's done it. Macclesfield number 10. And the substitute who came on might have to go off again.
Well, it can't be fatigue. Fatigue it isn't. He's only been on for a few minutes.
Substitution for Chelsea.
Chelsea, meanwhile, making
Number 21,
substitution. Solomon Kalou making his way off the pitch.
Welcome to Stamford Bridge.
A little bit of history here for Ben Sahar. Chelsea's new number 47. 17-year-old, former Hapoel Tel Aviv striker. And anyone who's seen anything of the academy side or the reserves this season will know that Ben Sahar is a fairly tidy-looking prospect up front.
Yeah, he's got a yard of pace. He knows where the goal is. He can finish all right. And as I said, this is a chance for him to come on. And when we've got plenty of the ball, get plenty of touches and hopefully get a few strikes and on goal against what is not a normal goalkeeper. So all things being equal, he might enjoy himself out there.
Well, we've seen him down at Cobham now and then training with the first team. And it's fair to say that the staff have liked what they've seen so far of Ben Sahar. John Miles, who's not long been on, is going to, I think, going to have to come off. The Macclesfield physio seemingly indicating towards Paul Ince that Miles can't continue. It's been a bit of a stop-start game, what with head injuries and penalties and red cards and so on and so forth.
Well, unbelievable, I have to say. I don't know what the young man did, but obviously he's just tweaked something and he's too uncomfortable and can't carry on.
The problem being, of course, that they've used 3 of their subs.
And it's been one of them days to forget for Paul Ince. After about 43 minutes, it looked like a great day ahead, but since then it's all gone pear-shaped, unfortunately for them, and they'll end up with, I think, 9 men on the pitch.
Well, yeah, that would be unprecedented. 11 versus 9, and one of the 9 is in goal and he's your centre-half. It's turning catastrophic for the visitors on a day that they'd hoped and dreamt would be something so very special. As you say, it was for a little while.
What's going on here?
Is there a yellow card? Yellow card for Ashley Cole for time wasting, was it? Or for the challenge that...
Well, it can't be for time wasting. I mean, we're 4-1 up and they've got 9 men. It's not so we're going to get back in the game, but there seems to be some sort of argument on where it should be taken. Ashley was about 3 or 4 yards in advance of where the referee fought. Obviously didn't come back quick enough and the referee's booked him, but very, very strange decision.
Well, Lee Mason's had a hand in the result here one way and another. He certainly made life a little bit easier for Chelsea with the sending off of Tommy Lee, which could have easily not gone that way. And John Miles being helped all the way around Stamford Bridge, getting the applause from the Macclesfield faithful in the shed end. Meanwhile, at the other end, here's Bridge. As Chelsea go in search of a 5th. Here, Blue's throw. And here we have even more history. Chelsea's final substitution is going to see Michael Woods take to the field.
Chelsea replacing number 3, Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole's day's work is done.
Please welcome to Stamford Bridge number 48, Michael Woods.
And another new number for Blues fans out there is 48, Michael Woods, the man on. That's 16 years and 275 days. He becomes the 4th youngest player to represent Chelsea, Tommy. 1 day older than the man in 3rd place. Do you know who that is?
No.
It's you.
Well, that's why I didn't know. I know Ian Chico Hamilton was the youngest, so obviously I knew that fact, and I knew I was in there somewhere, but I didn't realise I was number 3. But it's a great occasion. I've said that many times about the young men coming on, and you know, he'll enjoy himself. He'll be proud to pull on that Chelsea shirt in an FA Cup tie. And as I said, he's got a great future. I've watched him at Cobham a few times, Ben, as I have Ben Sahar, and I like what he does on the ball. He's combative, and but he can play as well.
3 goals for the youth side, including 2 in the Cup that saw them through to the match at Anfield later this month. He is the 4th youngest player ever to represent Chelsea. As I said, just the 1 day behind Mr. Tommy Langley. Here's Jeremy.
Oh.
Shevchenko making the run.
Please replace Divots.
Sahar finding Woods. And now Mikel. And Jeremy. Goodness only knows what Chelsea's shape's gone to. Tommy, you can analyse that for us in a second. Here's Wright Phillips. Now Jeremy. And Mikel. They're camped in the Macclesfield half here. Jeremy might think about a crack. He has thought about a crack, but he's sliced it off the outside of that right boot, way wide.
Well, I was extremely hopeful, but I mean, unfortunately, Macclesfield are just camped in their own half now, in and around the final third, just trying to get bodies behind the ball. They've got no outlet at all, and it's going to be, as I said, was only fortunately for them about 10 minutes left plus extra time, which could amount to be about 5. So all in all, 15 minutes just to weather the storm.
A day to remember in some ways, a day to forget in others for Paul Ince and his team. Here's Shevchenko trying to make it 5. Navarro back to cover. Possession given away again though. Here's Bridge. Options arriving in the box. It's towards Sahar and Shevchenko. And out as far as Mikel. Oh, how about that? The 5th goal, and it's the best of the bunch. It's his first for Chelsea, and a historical day for the Blues is just getting more and more historical by the moment. What a finish that was, Tom.
Well, it was a quality finish. I have to say, it was a hopeful ball at the far post. Actually quite well defended, just in front of Andrei Shevchenko. It falls to the edge of the box, and he actually it was outside of his right foot here. I mean, he could have hit a lot. I mean, it goes in like an arrow. Absolutely clean strike, and it's a great pace rising into that top corner. Always looks spectacular when it hit the top of the net like that, but it's a great controlled strike.
Wonderful technique. Stayed over the ball, thumped it, but with such care, if that's not a contradiction in terms.
Absolutely, I think you've described that extremely well. It was a great lot of care. He knew it was coming at an awkward angle, but the technique was great. He got his knee over the ball, he didn't panic, stroked through it, but you can always do that when you're 4-1 up. It helps ease the mentality side of it. You know what's going on, you see it clearer than you would do normally, and he struck it fantastic.
Here's Woods. And it's Sahar. With good strength to get away from his man Sahar and bring in Shevchenko. Now Jeremy. Mikel will think about shooting again. Some of the fans in the Matthew Harding end urging him to do so. Wrestled out of it in the end by McIntyre. It's one aside a free kick.
I think John Michelobi's gone then down there under challenge at the edge of the box. And he's just feeling the back of his calf here, and he's having a little limp. But hopefully it's just a kick, not a strain. But he did feel down his calf, and as I said, he got a bit of contact there, but hopefully it's not a pull.
Navarro and Regan. Murphy beaten to it by Carvalho. There's Bridge. Ricardo Carvalho had just gone on another one of those runs. He was storming up that left wing till possession was given away.
He plays the game with so much enthusiasm. We've seen him popping up in the box on the left side of midfield, and on that occasion left wing as well, but unfortunately the ball forward wasn't good enough to bring him into play.
Jeremy with the ball forward, no flag against Andrei Shevchenko, but Regan's there ahead of him. He's been booked, Andrei Shevchenko, so he doesn't want to clip too many heels.
Yes, he did. He got booked on the halfway line, if you remember. He just clipped the defender's foot as he went through. I think it was Danny Swales he caught on the halfway line, if my memory serves me correctly, and he got a yellow card for it.
Sahar coming short to receive the ball from Jeremy. Guess that would be just the only thing that would cap it off, Tom. A goal for one of the youngsters.
Yeah, that would be nice, especially Ben Sahar being a forward, and hopefully he'll get an opportunity.
Might do off this Wayne Bridge cross. It's too far for Sahar. Sean Wright-Phillips has kept it in with a fair bit of pace and whipped a decent ball across as well. Sahar was in the mix. Jennings doing the defending to deny the Israeli under-21 international a goal.
I've got to say, Ben, it was good defending as well, because Ben Sahar looks like he just got half a yard on the young man there, but he got his body in the way and eventually got it off for a Chelsea throw.
Carvalho. Right, Phillips, another chance to cross. Morley saves with his legs. Here's Carvalho, and it's 6 from the number 6, who has been all over the pitch today. And he has fully deserved that goal, and he's still running.
Yeah, he is. I think him and Lario's having a little bit of a take here, but he deserves it, mate. I've got to say, horrendous mistake for the goal, which he recognises, but he's tried so hard to put that right, and the rest of his game's been very, very good, and he deserved that. I mean, he had one goal that was struck off for offside, which I didn't think was offside, but on that occasion just wrapped it in the back of the net after it come off Morley's legs.
Well, his first touch wasn't the best, but he still got there for the second. Regan tried in vain on the line.
But he set it up as well. This is the enthusiasm he's playing with. He actually played the ball through to Sean Wright-Phillips initially. He came off David Morley, and there he was, making a run into the box to pick up the pieces.
Well, he was one of those who, at one point this week, possibly wasn't looking like a starter for this match.
No, but with the horrendous injury list we got at the back with JT, with Bula, who's missing, unfortunately he had no option but to play. But as I said, apart from that mistake, which was horrendous, and he's certainly played his part in what's been a very comprehensive win.
Well, eventually it has. The record books will just show that Macclesfield came here and got thumped, but I guess you'd have to say that Tommy Lee red card made it almost inevitable, didn't it?
Yes, it did, and 3-1 with 10 men on, and since then obviously they're playing with 9, so their substitutes come on and gone off. So it's not been an easy afternoon from up to about 40 minutes. They were doing themselves justice, but it's all gone horribly wrong since then.
Sometimes these ties get called wrongly a mismatch. It really is at the moment. You've got 11 Chelsea players against 9 Macclesfield. Bridge, hungry for more, taking on Regan. They haven't stopped running, those Macclesfield players.
No, they haven't. They've worked hard, and all 9 players are behind the ball again when we go forward, and they're trying to support John Murphy when the ball goes up. But it's a thankless task. Chelsea are knocking the ball around very well, which they're entitled to with 11 men on the pitch against 9.
Carvalho. And Mikel. There's again Mikel. Sahar. Desperate to find himself a little bit of space so he can get a shot off, I'm sure. Instead, here's Bullock with a tidy looking run and a fantastic tackle from Ricardo Carvalho, who, were it not for Frank Lampard's hat-trick, I think might be getting the man of the match award here. He'd get mine anyway, I have to say. Here's Sahar. Doing well, Sahar. Left-footed shot. And even a goalkeeper of David Morley's calibre is going to save that one.
Even the goalkeeper isn't the goalkeeper would have saved that one. But no, it's nice to see him coming in and having a strike. It's the first strike he's had, and it shows confidence. He didn't hit it very well, and he can improve on that, but he'll get confidence out of it.
Race with the header. There's Bullock. So few options because there's two men light out there at the moment.
When you say so few options, there's so few men out there in black, and they're trying their best to keep the ball and keep it away from Chelsea, but it's difficult, as you say.
Murphy finds Regan. A bit of pace there from Bullock. He's looked lively, and on another day might have been a greater contributor for Macclesfield here. There's a shot from distance, fired in, and Hilario, possibly just on his heels, was suddenly called into action.
Well, it was, and again Martin Bullock driving at that defence on the right hand side, but it comes in field. I think it's Tolley that has to strike, the substitute, and he's caught him a little bit by surprise here, and that's going into the top corner, and in the end it's a good reaction save. Alan
Navarro it was in the end. Tolley is over this corner. A well hit strike. Here's Tolley's corner. Swells is up, and Swells' header is just wide. Did Hilario rather just get another touch on it? Yes, I think he did. It is a corner, even though Swells, who was just running back to do some defending, has come back into the box again.
I've got to say, I'd be surprised if he did get contact. It was nowhere near it. I mean, that's a horrendous decision. Not that it matters, but it's a poor decision from the official there.
Bullock taking on Woods. Backheel finds McIntyre. Now Bridge. Break is on. All sorts of options. One of them's Andrei Shevchenko. Sean Wright-Phillips is calling for it far side. That's where Shevchenko has looked. Wright-Phillips will do well to keep that in. He has, and then he hasn't.
Well, I have to say that was the hardest option for me, hitting the ball to Sean Wright-Phillips. Spencer Hall was in front of him, making a run. Just played the ball into the boy and go and join him, but he tried to hit a 40-50 yarder there. He was always going to zip off the turf.
Fair amount of time to be added on here. All sorts of injury treatment, and the Tommy Lee one included in that. And his sending off, of course, David Morley having to go in goal. Had 6 substitutions and 6 goals. For the home fans to cheer. 1 for Macclesfield. They had about 30 seconds to celebrate before Frank Lampard had shattered that particular hope. Now, here's Shevchenko, urged to shoot by the fans. He smacked it straight into the feet of Danny Swales. Now Jeremy. Carvalho. Forward again, Ricardo Carvalho. He's unstoppable today. Be a Chelsea throw, and is.
I think Jose will be hoping he'll slow down a little bit. He don't want any pulled muscles at this stage. We can do without one of them, especially for a centre-back. But great ambition and character out there.
Now here's Woods trying to make room for the shot as well. Oh, just tried to pick out Sean Wright-Phillips with a cute little pass there. So nearly worked.
Just tried to feed it in behind the defender. The great run from Sean Wright-Phillips is Jeremy with a cross, I think.
In comes Jeremy's ball. It's a good one. Shevchenko's head has taken it away from Sahar, and now Bridge, and Sahar.
Well, Sheva's trying to get on the end of everything. Everything's just being deflected over his head at the moment. He can't get near it in that box. He's desperate to get a goal, but unfortunately it isn't coming.
Well, the old cliche about boxing matches and points, it would be over by now if it was in the ring, but it isn't over yet for Macclesfield. Number 7 could make number 7, Shevchenko. It's gone wide.
Yeah, Sean Wright-Phillips got down the right-hand side, just picked him out there. He just got the ball out of his feet. Not many options on. Just tried to bend it into that far corner. Unfortunately, too high.
David Morley, who'll remember this afternoon for all sorts of reasons. With the long punt upfield, and Macclesfield misery is over. Paul Ince and Jose Mourinho can shake hands. It's a decent match in the first half. Chelsea led 2-1 at the break, but it turned into a bit of a stroll in the end for the Blues. 2-1 up at the break. The game was effectively over, Tommy, when Tommy Lee was sent off. Frank Lampard made it a hat-trick for him with the resulting penalty. Macclesfield ended up with 9 men, and the result was never in doubt from that moment.
Especially when I think Chelsea at 1-1 got that goal within a minute and a half of them scoring. I think that settled the nerves. Second half always going to come out. That decision with Tommy Lee definitely made a difference. 3-1, they got no chance, and obviously the injury to the other guy who came on, and they ended up with 9 men. So Chelsea then made them pay accordingly. But some great goals in there, I've got to say, and Mikel Obi probably the pick of the bunch.
Certainly was. That was the 5th. Sean Wright-Phillips with the 4th after Frank Lampard's hat-trick, and Ricardo Carvalho wrapping up a tour de force performance with Chelsea's 6th of the day. Macclesfield will remember today for all sorts of reasons, not all of them good, but in the end they've gone down here at the Bridge by 6-1.
How difficult did Macclesfield make it for Chelsea?
It was a difficult first half. In the second half, we know a third goal would kill their hopes and would finish the game, and after that we could play comfortably and even with a higher score.
Didn't play as well as we can in the first half, especially. You know, we tried to up the tempo at half time, you know, and getting the lads going a bit better. Whether you're in awe of Chelsea, which was usually the case anyway, but you know, I think they put out to the second half, and I thought then the decision naturally killed the game. It was absolutely diabolical.
Yeah, well, it was a penalty, I think, but for me, I don't know if it's the rules or not, but I don't think you have to send the keeper off in that situation. I think you give the penalty and then maybe a yellow card to the goalkeeper and carry on. It did kill the game. But if the referee says that's the rules he has to go by, then that is the rules. So unfortunate for Macclesfield, but I do believe he would have won the game without that anyway. So.
frankly, I thought your team did you proud today.
Oh, absolutely elated. I thought we were wonderful. When that goal went in, there's never been a prouder man in football than there was that. We went absolutely mental. It was a wonderful, wonderful moment. And I thought we played some excellent football. I thought until the sending off and then going down to 9 men, I thought we matched it in parts.
The scoreline doesn't reflect the play, I don't think. The scoreline is just what's expected when Macclesfield have only got 9 men left in the pitch for the last 30 minutes of play, really. Yeah. The way Macclesfield came out in the first half made us proud, made me proud to be a Macclesfield fan.
First half.
Absolutely fantastic.
Played football.
The feather in my cap, which I'm going home to hold with for the rest of my life, is not a lot of Premiership teams have found the back of the net at Stamford Bridge. We found the back of the net. That is our pride and joy.